Well, good evening, everyone. Dr. Jacqueline King here, and I am the founder and CEO of Black Women Empowered and Black Men Empowered. And tonight we have the lovely K KB KP KP. What do you call yourself? KP. I always mess it
KB
up.
Motivator.
KB Motivator. But her name is Karenthia Barber. And she is an amazing woman doing amazing things, just completely blessed, connected, and just doing stuff. So she came up with a great concept, a great vision for a conference, a virtual conference that we'll be having tomorrow. And I am fortunate enough to be one of the keynote speakers. And okay, so go ahead and tell our audience what that's about.
Okay, well, thank you.
First of all, introduce yourself. First of all,
Okay,
introduce yourself.
I will do so. Thank you, Dr. King. My name is Karenthia Barber, and I am a consultant who operates at the intersection of business, education, and politics. Over the last 20 plus years, I have positively impacted the lives of over 200,000 individuals and organizations via my curriculum design and facilitation services, coaching, speaking, and other offerings that I provide. And it was placed in my spirit several months ago that the reality is we have all been impacted by the pandemic, some of us more than others. And there are many people struggling and not even understanding why. I came up with the idea of a virtual summit called Prospering Post Pandemic. And I have assembled an esteemed list of speakers and panelists, including Dr. Jacqueline King, who will provide us with their expertise, insight, and information that will help us all thrive through and post pandemic. Because the reality is, we're still in the pandemic. And, history has shown us that the last pandemic in the 20s lasted 3 years. So we
Mhm.
have to do what's necessary to position ourselves to prosper. That is in our mental, physical, and financial health. So the summit is about total health and wellness, a holistic approach to prospering.
You know, the interesting thing about that is that I have always said that um, I'm getting rid of this bugaboo real quick. People be coming on trying to post stuff, but not tonight. Not tonight, dear.
Go host
Go
your
some
own live.
Go to somebody else's page. Yeah. So, years ago, one thing that I said, I want to say hi to Jacqueline Gillespie. She is one of our biggest fans. Hello to everyone. Thank you for joining. Share the broadcast, please. Uh, I was telling someone, this was years ago, Corinthia, I said, the United States is going to be a services country. Everybody is going to be serving each other because the jobs that went overseas, they're not coming back.
No.
They were never coming back.
Mm-mm.
So you better have a backup plan. The corporate jobs, like when I was with the electric company for almost 27 years, making very good money, those jobs are they're not existent. They have them, but they're not paying what they were paying when I was there.
You're absolutely right.
So you better have a plan to make money. And so, with the gifts that God has given you, it's up to you to develop it to be able to sustain financially. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think the current state that we're in, and particularly in the last 18 months, has caused people to realize just what you said. Expecting the traditional work environments to exist is unrealistic. There are many jobs that were put on hold, but now they've gone away and they're not coming back. So everyone is going to have to broaden their mindset and their perspective regarding opportunities. This has given rise to a new generation of entrepreneurs. People have discovered talent and strengths that they hadn't utilized. And because people are still operating in a virtual environment, that gives us many opportunities to serve, as you've indicated, those who need things but are not able to go and access them in the ways that they normally would access them.
Absolutely. And you know what? My dad used to always tell me, my grandfather was a pastor in the Church of God in Christ.
Mm.
Uh, Shout out to Kojic. You can't join it, you have to be born in it. That's the song. This is the Church of God in Christ. I say that all the time because I love to say that, because most people, if they say they're from Kojic, I was like, if you don't know the song, you're not from Kojic. But my dad always told me your gift will make room for you, and that's in the scripture.
Hmm.
And that it is true. I found that to be true in my life. And so what people have to do nowadays is put aside the fear. That's what holds most people back, is
Yes.
being afraid to step out on faith. And if you are, you're never going to get anywhere.
Absolutely. And, if you never venture out or step out on faith to explore a new possibility or new opportunity, you will never know. And I believe that my personal belief is I never want to close my eyes for the last time and think about what if I had tried this, and that speaks to this summit. It's for me, it's an opportunity to help other people. And everything that I do in all of my business ventures is driven by my personal desire to positively impact the lives of others. So if one person on tomorrow thinks about entrepreneurship in a way that they hadn't thought about it, if they think about, well, maybe I've been tired, my sleep pattern has been off, maybe I am struggling and didn't realize it, and maybe I need to deal with this. Um, but I think that there's a wide range of possibilities and opportunities, but many times we aren't prompted or challenged to broaden our perspectives and think beyond what's in front of us. And many people took advantage of that during the pandemic. There are people who started businesses. There were lots of individuals who started online shows that didn't
Mhm.
exist pre-pandemic, and it has evolved into other things for them. So I would just encourage everyone to think about, recognize, one, that everything, whether it's our physical, mental, or financial health, it's all interconnected and it all impacts us. So if there's a void in any one of those areas, it's adversely impacting the others. So we want to be whole in every aspect of our lives. That's how we thrive and prosper.
Absolutely. And so yeah, the pandemic has forced so many people to think outside of the box. One of the blessings that BWE had is we were already doing live streaming before the pandemic came. We had already built the platform. Some people had to struggle to gather their platform and their social media. Um, I didn't know that we were going to be in a pandemic and people weren't going to be able to get out to church or get out to worship or get a word. But God gave me this vision. We'll be celebrating 10 years this
Wow.
month. As a matter of fact, next week will be our anniversary. It will be live. But I stepped out on faith, even though, like I said, I didn't see this coming, just to even start a black woman empowered, a black man empowered, a black girls empowered, because no one that I know had ever done it. And it really took courage. It did,
Mhm.
because I didn't know whether people were going to follow us or like us or stick with us, or I didn't know. But I
Mhm.
believe that that is what God told me to do, and I did it. So someone asked, okay, now they're asking, how can they get onto the um tomorrow onto the virtual? So you got to tell them.
Okay, so you can go to my Facebook page, which is KB Motivator, and there is a link in my page that will take you straight to the registration. It's an Eventbrite link. And there's also on my event page, you can access it that way as well.
Okay, KV Motivator. What?
KB
Um,
Motivator on Facebook, KB Motivator on Instagram.
all right. What time?
It starts at 11 a.m. tomorrow until 4 p.m. And the panels will be we will have an economist who will share with us an overview of the economic impact of the pandemic as it relates specifically to Black and Brown people and women in particular, and information that can be helpful for us as we move forward into 2022. There will be a panel on the power of connection. And Dr. Jackie just talked about Black women empowered was ahead of the curve. You were a trendsetter and a godsend, because had it not been for Black women empowered, there's so many millions of women and men and children who would not have had a connection to other like-minded people. And Dr. Jacqueline is going to be on the panel talking about the importance of connection, particularly in this environment that we're currently in. There will be a panel on the impact of the pandemic on our mental health to help us connect what we may be experiencing and going through. And really, the goal is to take away the stigma that many in our community have as it relates to mental health, because we often don't talk about mental health in the Black
Okay.
community, and it's real. And it does not mean we don't have faith. You can have faith and experience some mental health challenges at the same time. So we want to provide the information and the resources for people to be able to address any issues and get connected. We're going to have a panel of four very esteemed mental health professionals. Then there's a panel on the importance of men's mental health. It's an all male panel, and I felt it was necessary to have just the brothers there talking about this issue to be able to help other men, because we know sometimes it's difficult to get our men to even go to the physical doctor, let alone address mental health challenges. And then the last panel is the maintaining our inner strength, focused on holistic wellness, stress management, mindfulness, diet. There's a 21-year-old young lady who created and hosts a podcast called
Mm.
Students of Mind. And it's born out of some of her experiences. And she's been helping young people in particular throughout the country to deal with some of the issues that they're dealing with as it relates to mental health. And I'd like to add here, I think one of the areas that has been overlooked is our children, including college students and grade school children, were out of school for over a year. No one has even attended to the impact that that has had on our young people. And then we thrust
Right.
them back into a school environment without mental support, counseling, anything to help them in that transition. And as a result, Nationally, here in the United States, there's a rise in violence and disruptive behavior in our schools. And I hope that this will help some parents to understand and be able to support their young people as we move forward into through the pandemic.
And I'm really glad that you're doing that. And since you're fairly new to BW, you probably don't know that we do have Dr. Nikisha Hammond, who is a psychologist. She's been with us. I
Yes.
don't know if you saw her. She's been with us for probably 4 or 5 years. She comes on every Tuesday and does mental health moment. And
Yeah.
she also has it on YouTube. So I'm very that's a subject that I really have great passion for. I've actually served on NAMI, the National
Mm,
Alliance on Mental Illness. I served on that board for 3 years. I also was a commissioner for the city of Greensboro, and I did a 5-part series on mental illness for the city of Greensboro. So it's always been something that has been near and dear to my heart because I realized that so many of us the stigmatism is real when it
mhm,
comes to African Americans. Nobody wants to be branded as crazy or whatever the names that they give you.
mhm,
But I tell you, it is okay. Just like Karenthia said, it is okay to get help. It
mhm,
doesn't mean that you are a bad person or a different person. It means that you have a sickness. It is no difference than diabetes or any other disease. Mental illness is the same thing. You
mhm.
go get treatment for it. Of
Yeah.
course, you pray and continue to pray and trust God, but go get the help and the medical attention that you need. So that's my input on that. So I'm really glad that you're doing that. But what I'm going to be actually contributing is really how important networking is. I had to learn when I was working in corporate America because I worked for an electric and gas company, and in most cases, I was always the only person in the room that looked like me. So if I didn't find someone that could walk me through that, my parents were not they weren't corporate American people. So I didn't have anybody to pull off except for the people who were already in there. It is so important, not just inside of work, but outside of work in your communities. That's why we have Black Women Empowered, the sisterhood. And we're going to talk about that because we had our first meet and greet last night on Zoom. Corinthia, tell them about it.
Oh, it was absolutely wonderful to actually be in the same virtual space and see the faces of the women that we have been interacting with on the platform. And it's such a talented and
Very.
phenomenal group of women with a wide range of experiences who are from throughout the country. And it was just a joy to be there with everyone last night.
It really was. So that's why we have BlackWomenEmpowered.net, the sisterhood, because we need each other.
Hmm.
We're stronger together. Why would you try to do it on your own when you don't have to? When you don't have to, when you have a support of women who are willing to support you spiritually, emotionally, give you good advice, share ideas, collaborate with. That's what BlackWomenEmpowered.net, the sisterhood, does. So again, I'm telling you, you need to join. It's less than a hairdo. You invest in your nails and your lashes. I've seen women with lashes 5 inches lash and
And if you
two
drink Starbucks coffee, it's less than two
okay
cups of coffee a month.
two tons of weave and your nails and all of that. You know me, I keep it real.
I know, yes, you
Uh,
do. That's why we love you. I just want to add, yes, you had connected me. I met Dr. Hammond in one of your virtual
oh,
spaces, and I extended an
okay,
invitation. She was not available on tomorrow. So, yes,
okay.
I had invited her to join the panel as well.
Dr. Hammond is amazing. But yeah, we have doctors and lawyers and women, I'm talking about from all walks of life, that can really pour. And the women, they wrote me and told me in the few short months that we've been operating, their lives have changed already.
Yeah, I heard a
And
lot of
that's what
that last night. Yes. Yeah.
that is what it's about.
Hmm.
That's what BWE does. We want to see you over there. It's streaming across the bottom, blackwomenempower.net. But I definitely want to see you tomorrow um, at the conference. It's really going to, she has some awesome speakers. You talked about, did you talk about all of them?
And we're going to end with Hill Harper, who will talk about financial health. And most people know Hill Harper as an
The
actor,
actor,
an
yes.
author, and he's
And
now the
he's a
founder.
good friend of Obama's too.
Yes, he went to law school, I
I,
believe, with
I,
the
I
Obama.
remember that.
Yes, and if you watch The Good Doctor, he is one of the featured actors or stars of The Good Doctor. So Hill will
So
be
I know
joining us.
you're getting I know you're getting me an interview with him.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Look, the Bible says you have not because you
Because you
ask not.
asked not. That's right.
And so, but this is going to be really good. I'm excited about it. I'm glad that you tapped into your genius. And um, Karenthia is very modest, but she is so well connected. She really is. She was just with President Biden last week or the week before last. She is a mover and a shaker. And I'm just honored to call her my little sister and my friend, and just have her be part of the sisterhood, because she brings so much. She encourages the women every day. It's very rare that she misses a day saying something that's encouraging, and that's what we do for each other. If you're looking for a sisterhood, it's nice to be in a sorority, but this is different. This
Hmm.
is a sisterhood that is not like any other that you will experience. I don't down sororities. I'm not in one, but
I
I
am.
I, I love. Are you a AKA?
Yes. Yes.
How did I know that?
You, well, the little green that I have on might be a clue.
I did, and I have a lot of friends who are AKAs, and including our vice president. She's not my friend, but
Yes.
yeah, there's the lot of her, and so shout out to the Deltas, as well as and Cheryl Underwood, who follows me, is a Zeta.
Oh,
So I
yes.
have.
Actually, Cheryl Underwood's sorority sister, Dr. Leela Campbell, will be a panelist tomorrow. So I have a broad range of sisters and friends. So we're all going to be represented tomorrow.
Awesome. You have a Delta on the panel?
I don't, it wasn't intentional. It just so
Okay.
happened that, next time. But we're all
Uh,
sisters.
Yes,
We
we
just
are.
are sisters that may wear different colors, but we all have common goals and we work well together. And there's more that that we have in common than separates us. And that's the beauty of what you have created in Black Women Empowered. Because whether you're Deltas, Zeta, AK, or Sigma Gamma Rho, we're all part of this collective of like-minded women. And it's, as you said, it's a different kind of sisterhood. I'm active in my
It really is.
sorority. I'm active in the Links Incorporated, and I'm active in other organizations. But this is has a different. It's a different space,
It really is.
and yeah, it really is. And so I say to anyone who is in the audience, you need to join. You're missing out. And the longer it takes for you to join, the more you're going to miss out. And Dr. Jackie, and thank you for the kind words you said about me. But Dr. Jackie is truly a godsend. And, I met her in the virtual environment less than a year ago. And the way that she has extended herself and her platforms to me, she doesn't have to do that. But we have just connected on a level of sisterhood that doesn't happen with everyone that you meet. And I am really grateful for that.
And I feel the same way, and I that's one of my gifts. I know this without a doubt. God has blessed me with the gift to encourage, uplift, and inspire
Hmm.
people. A lot of people don't know that we also have Black Men Empowered. We have about 50,000 followers, or a little over 50,000 followers that follow. And Bishop Kevin Whitaker is our director of Black Men Empowered. So they're doing stuff over there. If you want to follow the Black Men Empowered on our Facebook page. Of course, if you're on LinkedIn, right now we have 147,000 followers on LinkedIn, and God has just really blessed us, tremendously to be able to grow, because you know more than ever we need each other now, especially in the pandemic. A lot of us have been. I was locked in the house for a year. Mostly everybody was locked in for a year, and so now we're kind of reconnecting, and we lost a lot of stuff. But you
Hmm.
know what? I believe that God was was preparing us for better. I
Hmm.
really do believe that in my heart. It was a cleansing to get ready for the next big move that He's going to uh, bring about. That's my belief. I believe that, and I see it. I
Hmm.
see it. I see it happening on a daily basis. People whose restaurants were closed, they're doing food trucks now. I mean, you have got to think outside the box. Get you a food truck and then go to the fact. One thing is, people are always going to eat.
No matter what. You're right.
They're going to eat. They're going to
Yeah,
eat.
and I'm inclined to agree with you because just in the virtual environment, some of the our who we consider famous entertainers, they were doing live performances on Facebook and Instagram because they couldn't go out and be on stages as they had normally been accustomed to. So it gave us time to reflect, um, analyze, what truly was important to us, because I think that helped a lot of people get recentered and
Hmm.
shift their focus to what's really meaningful, and to come back out renewed and re-engaged. And that's one of the reasons, when you said you believe it was a time for preparing us for what's next, that's another reason I want to encourage people to join us tomorrow, because the information and the resources will provide valuable insights that will help position us all to be ready for what's next.
Right, and it is free.
Yes.
That's everybody wants to talk about money, but this is free. All you gotta do is turn on your computer. I actually typed it in there. We'll type it again. But Corinthia, it's been a blessing. My queen, we call each other queens. My queen sister, and all the queens out there. I always tell you, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And I would love to see you over at the Sisterhood BlackWomenEmpowered.net. And I'll be there tomorrow.
And I look forward to seeing you again on tomorrow. And I hope that we get to see some of the folks who are tuning in tonight. And thank you again, my sister, my queen. I love and appreciate you.
And I love you back. All right. So thank everyone for tuning in. And I think a lot of people typed where they were coming from. I wasn't really paying any attention to the comments because I was into the conversation, but we appreciate you. We don't take our followers and fans for granted. We have some very loyal Karenthia, you don't know, they come on every time we come on, and we just thank God for them, and we love them. And so we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening, get some rest, and be safe. God bless.
Good night.